we're back.
And with another one.
With another reaction. How them YouTubers be?
And we're back.
Nah, you gotta do the Corey Kenshin, bro. What's up, YouTube? It's Corey Kenshin there, and welcome back to Scary Short Stories. We are about to react to 3 Tinder horror stories animated.
And we're not talking about tender like sweet tender hot wings, honey chicken tender.
What?
We talking about Tinder as in the dating website, guys. Okay, so stay off of it. All right.
Honey chicken. Okay, let's get started.
This is a true story that happened a couple of years ago, when Tinder was the go-to place for online dating. My experience with Tinder, or should I say with this one individual, was at first a friendly and flirtatious experience turned fatal the further things went. It all started when I was doing night classes at my local community
Hold on, y'all. Okay, that's kind of bad. That's kind of bad.
College. At the time, I was studying to get my degree in nursing, so you can imagine the monotonous lectures that the course entailed. I would usually take pictures of my friends' notes, so that I didn't have to take notes during lectures. Instead, I would go on Tinder. I was single at the time and figured I could pursue a boyfriend since December was considered cuffing season. I remember messaging this attractive guy who I'll call Ryan for the sake of this story. Ryan was my type of guy, handsome and someone who enjoyed the nature and wildlife. From his profile picture,
First of all, it's dark as fuck outside. Breezy as hell. So I'm pretty sure she can't hear nobody if they rustling through the bushes outside.
They're gonna jump right through the window.
That's what I'm saying. She got the curtains blowing. She's not paying attention. She's on her phone. You're dead.
I could see him holding a machete while wearing camo attire. After our initial match, I got to know Ryan a lot more, and found out that he was a huntsman who also enjoyed fishing on his days off. Nonetheless, his good looks and charm gave me good vibes that the other guys on Tinder didn't. We had messaged back and forth for about a week or two, and even video chatted occasionally. My friends and school colleagues suggested I give him a shot at a first date, but I felt like I wanted to take things slow and steady. This is when things took a dark and unexpected turn. One night, my best friend Jenna sends me a link of Ryan's personal Facebook page. As I opened his page up on my desktop computer, I see that he was currently in a relationship with another female of Hispanic descent. I began to act irrational and bombarded him with texts saying stuff like,
"Why the hell would you leave me on if you're still in a relationship? I saw your Facebook, buddy."
Not even 10 seconds later, Ryan responds back saying, "I was planning on breaking up with her to be with you." I didn't want to be known as a homewrecker, but he was too irresistible to let go of, considering how much in common I had with him. I messaged back saying,
"So you're willing to break up with her to be with me?"
"Yes, I'll break it to her later tonight."
"How will she take the news?"
Sometimes you just gotta kill them with kindness. After an awkward turn of events, I shut off my computer, put my phone on silent, and headed to bed, while brushing the whole notion under the rug that I was going to end a relationship, and potentially gain one simultaneously. The next morning, I woke up and checked my cell phone on my nightstand. I remember seeing 2 missed messages from Ryan. I opened them up and saw an image of his girlfriend, except she was bloodied. A good portion of her face was severed off with a second message that read, "Done." After the alleged homicide circulated the news, it was later found out that Ryan had taken his girlfriend's life with his hunting machete. What makes this story more disturbing was how I recall Ryan explicitly saying he was going to quote-unquote kill his girlfriend with kindness prior to breaking up with her. Little did I know that his hunting machete was named Kindness.
Stop it. Come on now.
Was that the whole story? That was kind of
Bro, Weak as fuck, but that's crazy though. This nigga literally killed his girlfriend.
Never in 1,000 years did I ever expect to experience such a disturbing encounter during a date. A date that I'm now reminded of every time I stare at my reflection. The scars that remain on my face only reflect my scars from the outside, but don't project the scars
That's
from
some
the
dirty
inside.
water, bro.
The brutality in the hands of this certain individual left me seeking professional counsel.
They're like you.
I find it difficult to erase the image of the individual's face from my
I know
memory,
you drinking milk
as it
straight
still
up.
sends shockwaves through my anatomy. Maybe sharing my story with the world
Man,
will help
struggling.
close this horrific chapter of my life. It all started a couple years ago, when the dating
Eggs
app
with
Tinder
tomato and
first
lettuce is crazy.
launched. I remember seeing all of my friends download the app as it was the new trend when it came to online dating. I've used other dating apps in the past, but never really got too far in the dating scene besides a nice meeting you text or a $100 bill after a lunch date. There was this one occasion when I got home from a long day of school. I remember face planting on my bed the moment I stepped foot inside my room. I had just finished midterms and felt the sudden urge to blow off some steam, and perhaps go out later that night. I grabbed my cell phone and began messaging my friends in our group chat saying, "Yo, anyone down to chill later?" A couple of minutes go by and I get a few replies saying something to the effect of, "Not today, with girlfriend," or "Got a Tinder date tonight." This was incredibly frustrating, as I felt like I was slowly becoming the one single friend in my entire friend group. I felt like my social skills and dating life were slowly diminishing the longer I stayed home and didn't go out. That's when I decided to log onto my desktop computer and create a new Tinder profile. After a couple of minutes of typing out a witty personal bio, I started uploading old photos to my profile. I made sure to also download the app on my phone while making myself comfortable on my living room couch. I remember swiping through the app for a few minutes and seeing dozens of attractive females. Due to my previous encounters regarding dating apps, I knew not to trust the pictures within the girls' profiles, as some of them could turn out to be catfishes more often than not. During the latter part of my evening, I was waiting patiently to match with any girls on Tinder. My dad always told me to shoot my shot with as many girls as possible. That way the probability of hooking up with one would be higher than the average guy. I recall swiping right and liking at least 100 girls' profiles on Tinder. Out of the hundreds of girls, I surprisingly got no matches back. I couldn't help but feel my self-esteem gradually deplete. I didn't want to sour the rest of my day, so I decided to put my phone down and watch some TV.
I was really focused on
My
the
anxiety
TV.
began playing tricks on me as I truly
And then I
convinced
just heard
myself
something
that I was
break
going to be single
my
forever.
focusness.
The room suddenly became silent despite the television still remaining on. My eyes started getting heavy the longer I stared at the TV. I began picking at the armrest of my sofa while trying to blow off some steam.
And take a look at the
Feelings of anxiety weighed heavy on my shoulders. Am I really gonna die single? Does anyone want to be with me? That's when I hear a notification sound coming from my phone. I grabbed my phone and noticed it was a match from someone on Tinder. As I opened up the app, I noticed a female of Asian descent. She didn't have many pictures on her profile, just one picture with the name Tina. From the looks of it, she seemed fairly attractive and was roughly around the same age group as I was. The bio on her profile was straight to the point. I remember it saying something along the lines of, "The hotter twin sister, you should date me."
Expedia, all your trip, all in one place. Download the app.
PrettyLittleThing.com.
I found the description rather odd, but brushed it off as I just wanted to get some action that night. That's when she sent a direct message to me. I opened up the message, which read,
"I'd love to talk in person if you're free."
with a smiley emoji. I was surprised at how forward
Y'all
she
just
was.
fucking met.
Her location said she
freaking
lived
met.
about 15 kilometers away, which translated to about a 10-minute drive from my house, give or take. I figured meeting up with this girl wouldn't be much of an inconvenience considering how close she was. I sent a message asking for her contact information. She then responds with her fully disclosed address and phone number. Again, I was taken aback by how forward she was with her contact details. I began speculating if she was a catfish or not. Nonetheless, I brushed the notion under the rug and decided to respond back with, "Cool, be there in an hour." As I made my way to the washroom for a quick shower, my entire...
Beware and what? Hold on, wait.
They just mad. Ouch. They just mad. Literally, the same day. They're finna meet the same day. You don't know these people. He finna come up missing.
Bro, dumber than dumber.
He finna come up missing, or he ain't gonna be seen at all. But they gonna chop him up in little bitty pieces and drop him in and
Be there in an hour is crazy. No FaceTime, nothing.
No, you don't even know for sure if it's her. All this new technology we got, what you got going on?
Bruh.
Her body began feeling antsy. I couldn't help but feel genuinely excited as if I was going on a first date again. That's when I hear another notification sound coming from my phone. I checked my phone and saw another match coming from Tinder. Could this be my lucky day? I wondered. I clicked on the profile and noticed it was Tina, except the name on the profile said Lena. As I read her bio, I could see it was similar to Tina's profile saying, "The hotter twin sister, you should date me."
Why the dummy
The
would
distance
like
next
him
to her
on
name
two
was
different
also
accounts
15
in the first-
kilometers.
No, you heard it.
Could it
They said the twin
be?
sister.
This has to be the twin she was talking about. Speculations began running through my head. I made the assumption that Tina and Lena were both twin sisters, considering the identical similarities in names, appearance, and location. It seemed like the pair had a pretty petty relationship with one another based on the way they were outing each other in their bios.
I think I already know.
She then messages me as well saying,
Don't date my sister Tina. Date me instead.
I couldn't help but feel amused at the notion that I literally had twin sisters fighting over me that I hadn't even met yet. Not really considering if this was a good idea or not, I decided to entertain it by saying, "How about we all go on a triple date?" Lena then responds with,
Fine, but you better like me more.
My mind was racing. I couldn't believe I was going to potentially hook up with two attractive looking twins. Something on every guy's bucket list. That being said, I grabbed my car keys and made my way inside my vehicle. I punched in the address on Google Maps and started driving towards the destination. About 10 to 15 minutes later, I arrived there and saw a fairly small house surrounded by a lot of trees. The house honestly looked like a shack that you would put storage in. I casually made my way onto the porch and began knocking on the door. I remember hearing faint noises of heavy footsteps making their way towards my direction. As I heard the door locks beginning to open, I popped a breath mint in my mouth to give a good impression. The door began to creak open, and there stood a girl with two heads attached to her body. If I recall the politically correct term, they were conjoined twins. The girl on the right then introduced herself saying,
I'm Tina, also known as the hotter twin, and here is my uglier half, Lena.
Speak for yourself. Anyway, I'm Lena. You must be Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Come inside so we can get this party started.
I honestly contemplated on booking it, as it was clear as day that I'd been catfished, but I decided to take the high road and continue with the date, so I said,
I don't know why you say you've been
sure,
catfished,
ladies.
though. You have not been
As I made my way inside, I couldn't help but notice how well kept the place was. There were even 3 plates of steak prep sitting on the dining room table.
Because they did say they were
I felt
twins.
a little relieved I didn't split the
And they look
scene,
just like
as
the
I would have lived to
Yep.
regret leaving the twins high and dry despite all their efforts.
Doing his
We all
eye,
began to
bro.
Run.
walk towards the
What?
table. I sat on one side while the twins sat across from me.
I dropped a
An
blunt.
awkward essence filled the room as I couldn't believe
think I
who
like
I was
Tina
currently
more.
on a date with. If I
Tina
had to
likes
be
that
honest,
smoke.
I
It's
couldn't
just
muster
going
up
on
an
her meat.
appetite despite how delicious the meal looked. Tina held the steak with a fork in place while Lena began slicing it into bite-sized pieces. I sat there watching with my jaw hanging from my face as the twins started feeding themselves with their respective hands. I genuinely don't mean to be rude, but it was the most bizarre thing to watch considering it wasn't expected. Tina then says,
Why aren't you eating your steak, Jeff? I worked on it all day.
But they got
Leave
the
him
same
alone.
neck.
He doesn't want to eat your shitty cooking.
I didn't ask you, idiot.
I wish we were separated. I can't stand
I
you.
got a question.
Psh, at least I don't have to share the same brain as you.
Girls, please stop fighting. I'm just a little full from the food I had earlier.
I'm gonna ask you, because you're a very smart man. They conjoined twins, right? If they both eating at the same time and have to swallow at the same time or whatever,
I'm trying to think of the same thing,
do it
babe.
go down the same neck?
I'm trying to figure that out myself. I am not a conjoined twin. I do not know that one. I feel like they got an esophagus that go like,
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm
is it,
saying? And then
but
just,
it still, do it connect back together at like the same neck?
or do they got
have
like two
different necks?
stomachs,
Or yeah.
2 hearts? It's crazy, huh?
We gonna have to look that up though, because I want to know.
I ain't looking up.
I want to know though, if y'all know.
Who do you think's hotter?
What question? Remind them, because I lost it.
Oh. If the two twins.
Oh, yeah. Where they,
Yeah.
yeah. Do they got 2 stomachs? No.
Or her?
Next, what
I'm
goes
not
on?
here to pick favorites, Tina.
He obviously likes me more.
There's a reason why I was born on the right side. Because I'm Mrs. Right.
Condescending bitch.
Girls, if you don't stop, I'm leaving. The tension in the room got very uncomfortable.
Did you just scream at them,
began
bro?
to mean mug me while holding a knife in one hand and a
Sound
fork
like
in the other. I could hear nothing but pin drops as the room suddenly became
Did he just
silent.
scream at them?
Tina then slams her
Hold on.
clenched fist on the table.
First of all, you inside their crib. They've been together from birth.
Yeah, they're just arguing with each other.
Why are you screaming at them? You have no right, sir.
You wanna know what I do? I look. Keep on eating my food. Fuck that shit. That ain't got nothing to do
Hell
with me.
nah. Get the fuck.
They arguing with each other. I'm gonna finish the day and get the fuck.
Oh.
Blocking your number. bro.
Nah. First of all, I wasn't even going on the date.
And then if they ask who I like more, I will text you.
So fast.
I just got me
Auto
some.
30 seconds. Type darkness is that. Never. Alright. That just got me some weed. Let me get. Okay, let's go.
While holding the fork in her palm, saying, I began leaning back the
I
closer
skipped it
they
by
got to
accident.
me. Ladies, can you please put the knife and fork down? As I looked into their eyes, I could see them both filled with rage, while Lena's had a hint of
First of all, you already scream at them.
Tina then abruptly takes a swipe across my face with the fork in her hand. Ow! What the hell is your problem? Get the hell away from me or I'm calling the cops! I
You're
sat in my
ending
seat
for that.
flabbergasted while trying to subdue the blood dripping down my face. Lena then says,
Why did you do that? If you go to jail, they're gonna put me in there with you, you idiot!
Good. Not only will we be close physically, but we'll also be close emotionally.
Lena then begins stabbing Tina across her face and neck repeatedly. I sat there in disbelief while being showered.
What you mean
in
sat there? I was
As
cooking.
Lena continuously stabbed Tina, I saw her eyes beginning to slowly roll in the back of her head as the pair abruptly collapsed on the floor.
With over 400 million global users. So,
That shit
what
dark.
will you do on Vigo?
Vito.
Well, to answer one question, well, obviously they got different heads, they got different brains.
I'd started
That was-
using
I
Tinder
like
just a
that
few
one. That
weeks
was good.
prior.
That was
I
good.
hadn't expected it to work, but within a short time, it seemed to be proving fruitful. One day, I saw this super hot chick right in my area. She was just my
super
type, and she had plenty of great photos on her profile. To my surprise, we matched pretty quickly.
Super
We
hot,
started
bro.
texting
This
on and
man
off
said
throughout the week.
super.
She always took a while to respond, but I figured she was just playing hard to get because all of her texts were heavily flirtatious, saying
She got a
out-of-pocket
nigga on
things
side,
like,
she got more than one.
Hey there, Mr. Man. You look pretty hot.
Y'all hearing
Hang out
it?
with me?
She got more.
I
Y'all
really
hearing
wanted
it?
things to go to
She
the
got
next
more than one
level,
dude,
so
boo.
I played
You
You gotta
along.
waste your
I
time.
pulled out
That's
all
what that
the
means.
stops, using all the pickup lines and wit I had.
That's crazy.
You know, I'm gonna take you out first. Gotta treat a classy girl like you, right? Things got rather heated pretty
That
soon.
shit cringy as fuck.
How about I just give you a time and a place, and you just do me right?
I'll be there. Eventually, after about a week, we traded phone numbers and I got her to agree to go out on a date. She said she really wanted to go to the movies. I didn't really care where we were, as long as I finally got to meet her. I arrived at the theater around the start of the previews, but she'd already texted me that she was inside.
I'm way up at the very top. XOXO.
When I made my way to the top row, I saw a girl sitting by herself. She didn't look exactly like the photos from her profile, but still, she was cute. I figured it was just too dark in the theater to tell, and she had the right brunette hair, so I introduced myself on the steps. Hey there, lovely. Mind if I take a seat?
Excuse me? Who are you?
I'm Aaron. From Tinder?
That's so
I think
bro.
you got the wrong girl.
Get out of here, bro.
My bad. Sorry about that.
Bro.
I looked around the theater for another girl sitting alone, but there was hardly anyone in there. Well, there was nobody except her. She was waving at me from the other side of the row. Even in the dark, I could see enough. As she flailed her arm around, a hefty baggage of fat, flabby skin jiggled around her elbow. Her waist bulged over the armrests of her seat, and she had about $50 of concessions cluttered around herself. I gulped and reluctantly walked over to her. I already knew I'd been severely catfished. I put myself to just getting to the movie and then never talking to her again.
Hey, hot stuff.
Ain't her teeth.
Hi. Once I got close, I noticed even more disgusting details. She looked older and more wrinkled than my grandma, which just made all the folds of fat that much more numerous. She barely had any hair left on the top of her head, except for a few greasy white wisps, but she made up for it with a scraggly beard nestled between a few of her chins. What I wanted to do was vomit, but I sat down despite myself. Immediately, she grabbed my hand from my leg and clenched it with an iron grip. She pulled me towards herself and whispered into my ear.
How'd you like to go
Back
all
up, bro.
the
Back
way
up, bro.
tonight,
Back up, bro.
baby
Back
boy?
up, bro. Back up. Back up,
I
bro.
don't know.
Oh, are you nervous, sweetheart? Not as bold as you are in your texts. Well, how about we start with a kiss?
I wanted to leave so bad, but I was hung up on getting my money's worth out of the ticket. She was still squeezing the life out of my hand, licking her lips and letting food spill out of her mouth. I don't think so. How about we just enjoy the movie?
Oh, come on. Aren't you a player? Get over here.
She puckered up and pulled me in even further. I tried to wriggle myself free, but she grabbed my face with her other hand and held me still as she kissed me with her Funyun breath. She forced her way into my mouth and then bit my tongue. When I tasted blood, something juiced me with extra adrenaline. I punched her in the face and jumped out of my seat. But something was still biting my tongue, pulling it out of my mouth and hanging off my chin. I looked down. It was her dentures, yellowed and covered in food, and still clenched onto me. I ripped them off and threw them to the floor. Out of grabbing distance, I looked back at her, utterly stunned.
Where you going, baby boy?
She tried to stand up, knocking several empty snack cartons onto the floor, but she didn't get anywhere. She was wedged into her seat by the girth of her hips. It was like watching a train wreck. I couldn't look away. When she finally twisted and heaved herself out of the seat, she immediately collapsed to the floor, then started crawling towards me, rambling unintelligible gibberish. She didn't get very far before she got stuck in the cramped space of the aisle. Suddenly, she started screaming in rage, kicking her feet hopelessly and swiping at me with her meat hooks.
Why you ain't home?
You really let yourself go.
I would have been gone.
I couldn't stand to look
Bro,
at
you
her
still got the blood on? Wipe it
Get
off!
the heck out of there before anyone else showed up. And really, I needed to get home.
Dog walked all the way home with the blood on him, bro.
Hey, hot stuff.
Hi.
How'd you like to go all the way tonight, baby boy?
I don't know.
Oh, are you nervous, sweetheart? Not as bold as you are in your text. Well, how about we start with a little kiss?
That's okay. Shut this bullshit up. Why didn't he go to the bathroom and like bleach his mouth out, bro?
I'm high as fuck, man.
Bro walked all the way home.
I'm pretty sure he got something from that.
Everything. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, COVID,
19 and 28.
Oh,
Claps, she gave me claps.
bro, if y'all want us to react to more of this, we need 10 likes, bro. We need 10 likes.
Wait, I need 10.
Yeah, we need 10 likes.
We need 10 likes.
We need 10 likes for another.
You gotta start somewhere, bro. You gotta start somewhere. And give me 10 likes, and we'll redo another one. This is our very first scary short films.
Reaction.
Video.
Reaction. I got you.
Reaction video.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. You are high as hell.
So this is our first video of the series. We are going to continue doing it,
Why
but you guys
did
have
bro
to give us
walk
10.
all the way home with the blood on his?
You wanna kiss pretty much?
What is up with white people, bro?
I don't know. But first of all, this bitch no, I would have been
From
I would have been
she,
soft.
bro.
First of all, when I saw that it was a catfish,
From
I'm not
she
even finna finish
waved,
it.
bro. From she waved from the corner.
Like, I know this ain't
I was
her.
like,
I act like I can't see you. I mean,
nah, this me every time, everywhere I go. Give me a phone. Give me a phone. This me everywhere I go.
oh, my light's still on.
Wow, I'm turning it on right now. Everywhere I go, when I ain't somewhere I'm supposed to be. God damn, I ain't got no signal. Let me go outside real quick. Gone.
Deal.
Gone. Never seen.
I'm not seeing no date through.
Gone.
If you a catfish, I'm not. Just like with the two head.
Oh, I hit him with the
I ain't
hello.
seeing no date through. I don't want to be it.
Hello? You say you outside? Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm finna step up right now. Gone. Fucking
Yeah, something.
I'm gone.
Ain't no way.
You're bugging.
Who
if
go
you
on
think-
Tinder anyway? Who do this?
Hell no. And as a matter of fact, who buys the whole movie ticket before meeting up outside the movie theater? What you mean?
There was a red flag.
What you mean? You
say you already there?
inside.
Like, you already
So
there.
we ain't finna get popcorn together?
You don't want to go get no food, introduce ourselves.
No drink?
No nothing.
We just gonna meet up inside the theater. You already got the ticket. You just wait. Nah, I'm good.
She missing all these.
I'm
She had
good.
no teeth. She
I'm
had dentures. She was flobbly, baby.
You supposed to wait on me in the car. You ain't even supposed to get out.
How did she get in there?
You ain't even supposed to get out your goddamn car
Like, she
until I
couldn't get out
there.
the chair or through the seat. So how did she get in the movie theater?
And how do movie theater people not suspect anything? Cause she had to buy a ticket. They see that coming in. They probably like, yeah, we just finna get her. Yeah, we just finna take her money. Get her a seat.
No.
Oh no, put that on charge real quick. See that?
The black? This? Oh.
Yeah, y'all, that's the end of this reaction. We done. But yeah, like I said, if y'all want to see more horror stories, 10 likes.
Then you gotta have a booty hole burn.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm finna roll up again. Hey, peace, y'all. Peace.
Town, thuggin' with my round, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown.